Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Friday teaching. My name is Steph Ventura. I'm a psychic business empowerment coach, and I teach spiritual entrepreneurs and spiritual people to manifest anything that they want in their personal lives as well as their businesses. I do this through teaching my clients how to have such a high level of awareness around what their limiting beliefs are, their fears, their repressed emotional energy, and really teaching them how to clear that effectively and bringing themselves into alignment with their desires so that they can then attract those things with so much more ease and grace and get to have their dream lives or their dream businesses. Every Friday, I come on here on my YouTube channel to do free teaching, usually around 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, depending on where I'm at in the world and what's going on. And today I'm here to talk to you all about the truth about your intuition, because that's the message that I was asked to share with all of you today as per my guides. So I'm going to talk about this, and if it resonates with you, if you take anything away from the video, please let me know in the comments below. Definitely give this video a like or thumbs up wherever you're watching from, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoy this content. There's plenty of other videos for you to watch here, and I will try to upload more things that I do on Facebook. If you want to follow me on Facebook, where I do a lot of other live teachings that are even longer, definitely check out the links in the description below so that you can follow me on my business page and my free Facebook group and get access to a lot of free content there. Hey, Alinka, how are you? Oh, awesome. You wanted to ask me about this today. Cool. So there's a reason why I teach the things that I get asked to teach from the universe, because it's needed in that moment. And so let's get started with this, okay? Because when I first heard like the truth about your intuition, I was like, what are you talking about, guys? Like, what does this mean? So I'm usually kind of like, what am I supposed to say here? So when we're talking about intuition, first of all, we're talking about a lot of times what is referred to as that gut feeling, especially for men. Men identify more with a gut feeling, but women too. It can also be described as the inner knowing. That's how I like to describe it as. It's my inner knowing. I just know. And also my strongest psychic ability is just knowing things. It's called claircognizance. I just know things, and when I know things, I just know them, and I don't care. It's just the way it is. So it can be the gut feeling, it can be an inner knowing, or it could be kind of like coming from your heart. Okay, it's like a feeling that you may feel in your heart space, like you feel it. It's so the inner knowing is more like, I would say, like on a mental level, and then the heart feeling is more like on an emotional level. Okay, but either way, it's a gut feeling, an inner knowing, or a heart-centered feeling that you get, where you just know this is what needs to be done or not to be done. Okay, so that's your intuition. Okay, it can't really be described in a logical, analytical manner. Maybe there is some science that can try to describe it, but it's just a feeling, it's just a knowing, it's just sensation inside of you, or knowing inside of you of what the path is for you or what the next thing to do is for you. Okay, so this is your intuition, and we all have intuition, both men and women. Now typically it's kind of taught by society that women are more connected to their intuition, because we hear things like mother's intuition. Mothers just know when something is wrong with their kids, no matter what the distance is or whatever, how old they are, or whatever it is. It's mother's intuition. We kind of associate intuition with women primarily, but we all have this. We all have this inner feeling, this gut knowing, this sensation. So men as well, if you're a man watching this, you also have intuition. Okay, now the thing is that as we grow up, when we first come into this world, we have a strong connection to our intuition. This is why a lot of times children will describe how they feel all the time, like, I feel this and I feel that, or they'll just kind of like immediately react to something that you're like, why are they reacting that? And it's because on some unconscious level they can sense that something is not maybe right or something is off, and they're very like connected to their intuition. And so what happens though, as we grow up, is society teaches us to not really rely on our intuition anymore, to kind of dismiss it, to instead rely on our minds a lot more, and to rely on things that are logical, analytical, things that are explainable, things that have evidence and facts and all these different things. That's what we are taught in schools primarily. And so then we start kind of disconnecting from our intuition, because like I said, intuition is not really something that you can prove actually, like this is the evidence and this is what describes intuition and so on. I mean, yes, there are certain studies done that talk about the different levels of brainwave activity, and how when you're in higher levels of brainwave activity, you can access higher dimensional planes of consciousness and extra information and so on and so forth, right? If you want to go about it the scientific way. I think it's always good to kind of know those things, but I just don't try to fill my head with too much of the sciencey stuff, and I just like to keep it simple, because I think simple is just the best way. And if it resonates with you, if this resonates with you, if you get it, you get it. Because I'm just one of those people where I'm like, cool, I know there's science behind it, cool, but I just need to know what I need to know in the moment, and I don't need to complicate my life and try to prove it, because I just feel it in my heart that it's true, that it resonates, that this is true for my soul, and I don't need any more convincing. Like, that's me personally. But if you need more convincing, by all means, go into the research, look into those things. But overall, we don't really have these exact ways of explaining intuition. And so as we grow up, we're taught to rely on facts, on evidence, on the physical things that we can see to prove things. And we can't really prove intuition. To the common average person that doesn't know about maybe the science behind intuition, you can't just say, oh, it's just a feeling. Like, no, people want to see things in order to believe whatever it is that you're saying, or they want facts or evidence in order to believe whatever it is that you're saying. And so this is how we kind of start disconnecting from our intuition and start relying so much on the mental processes, on the physical that we see around us, and so on and so forth, instead of just really being able to be so deeply connected within ourselves or our bodies to really feel our way for what feels in alignment, for what feels true for us. Okay. So yes, we're taught to basically not trust ourselves as we grow up. We're taught to trust on things outside of ourselves, be it material things, evidence, facts, whatever it is. And so this is the path that we start going down. And because we don't trust ourselves anymore like we used to, what happens is that as we move forward in our journeys, and we have to, we get those hits of intuition, because you never lose it. Even if you kind of like, if you lose the strength of your intuition, you never lose it completely. And so as you move throughout life and you feel like you need to do something or not do something, because you've been practicing not trusting yourself so much again and again, because of the conditioning that you've received from society and schools or other people and so on and so forth, your experiences maybe, because you've been taught to not trust yourself, what happens is as these life situations are presenting themselves and you're getting hits from your intuition to do this or to not do this, because you don't trust yourself, you step into it, you get that intuitive hit, and then you're like, oh no, wait, that doesn't make sense. I can't listen to that feeling I just got. I have to do this because this makes sense. And so you go against your intuition. And this is super common, because I know for me, hold on a second, there's like really loud stuff outside my window as always. I really hope this isn't the case in Mexico. By the way, I'm leaving on June 8th. I'm so excited. I got my ticket this week. So finally, what I'm sure all of you have had experiences in the past where you kind of, let's say maybe you were put in a drawing, or I don't know, playing bingo, or you had to do something, and then you had the feeling that you had to do something, but then you were like, oh no, I shouldn't do that, or I'm just making things up, or I'm just being silly, or whatever, and you go against whatever it is that you felt to do, and then a short while later you realize that you were wrong in going against your inner feeling, and that you should have done it because that's what worked out in the end. Does that make sense? So like if I were to, let's say, play the lottery, and I felt pulled, it was like pulling in numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And then the last number, I just felt pulled to mark 17. But then I thought like, no, I shouldn't mark 17 because I already have 16 here, and I should probably do another number different from all these other numbers. So I'm going to go with 27 instead, because I don't have any 20s in my lottery ticket. So I'm going to go with 27 instead. So initially I felt like I had to do 17, but then I went against it because logically I was like, no, this doesn't make sense. I should do this. And then I do that. And then after the lottery numbers get picked, the Powerball number, or the last number or whatever, happens to be the 17, right? And then I end up regretting it because I didn't listen to myself, because I could have gotten that and I could have won something. Let's just pretend like some of the other numbers were on point as well. And because I didn't listen to my intuition and I kind of went against it, I'm like beating myself up later, like, dang it, I should have done that. I knew I should have done that, right? We've all had this experience at one point or another. I know that used to happen to me all the time because I would get these feelings and then I would not trust myself and then I would go against it. And then later afterwards, I would be like, crap. If I had listened to myself, it would have worked out better for me, right? So this is what happens is we're trained to not trust ourselves and to go against our intuition. And this is not going to help you, obviously, because if you want to succeed in any area of your life, especially if you're a business owner, you really have to develop your intuition. You really have to really be in tune with what feels right for you and what doesn't feel right, and to make decisions based off that a lot of times instead of just the facts. I mean, I'm not saying to dismiss the facts or the evidence, but you definitely have to take that in. But a lot of times it comes down to, what is that gut feeling telling you? What is that inner knowing telling you? Does that deal feel good to you to make or not? And to really tune into that and listen to that, because that a lot of times will save your butt, because your intuition is your guiding compass, okay? It is the information that you are receiving from the divine spiritual aspect of you, from your soul, from your higher self, from whatever you think the higher aspect of you is. It's coming from that space. And the higher aspect of you can see all the many different paths that you're taking or you're meant to take or that you can take. It can see how it's supposed to work out or how it will work out. And so your intuition, your higher divine spiritual self is always trying to lead you down the path of your highest good, down the path that's going to get you to where you're intended to get to the fastest, the easiest, the most effortlessly. And so it's always trying to lead you down that path. And that's why it's your guiding compass. When you feel that intuitive hit to I don't know, maybe launch a program, to sign up for something, to move to another city, to start a relationship, or whatever it is, when you feel that that's coming from your higher self, that's an intuitive hit that you're getting that is guiding you down the path of your highest good. And so these intuitive hits that you'll get will lead you to the steps you need to take, the next steps, to helping you get into alignment to be able to experience synchronicities again and again. It will help you to be able to receive the ideas and things that are coming from the higher aspect of you that knows, okay, I'm going to give you this idea and you need to run with that. And then if you run with it, it's going to build into this and this and this, and it's going to get bigger and more amazing. It's going to change your life. But if you get that intuitive download for that idea and then you're like, oh no, but I don't think right now is the right time for that, or I don't think I'm ready yet, or I think I need to do this before I move forward in that, and so on and so forth, and you don't listen to it, you put it off, you don't trust yourself, you don't take action on that because you're convincing yourself of all the reasons why you shouldn't, then you're going to slow yourself down. You're not going to get the potential results that you're supposed to get or you're intended to get, and so on and so forth, right? So when you allow yourself to listen to your intuition and to take action on it, it saves you a lot of time. It saves you a lot of energy. It saves you a lot of money quite often, depending on, like what you have going on, because time is very precious. And if you, for example, with the example that I gave on the idea, if you're a business owner and you get this intuitive hit for this idea, but then you are not taking action on it because you're not trusting yourself and you're convincing yourself otherwise to put it off for later, for when you're ready, and all the other BS excuses that you give yourself, that's costing you money. Because if you were to take action on it, maybe you're not going to necessarily get the results that you want, but you're going to gain the experience that you need to get to where you want to get to much more quickly, so you can get that success and you can get that money down the road, right? But if you put it off and you don't gain that experience and so on, it's like slows you down and it costs you so much more money in the long run, right? So your intuition comes from the divine aspect of you that can see the bigger picture for you, that can see what's in your highest good, that's always trying to lead you forward to the best of its ability so that you can be happy, fulfilled, abundant, and all the amazing things that you desire, okay? And because we are in a process of spiritual evolution, or the ascension process, as it's commonly referred to as, because we're on the process of ascension, we are now shifting into a reality in which people are being asked to be led more by their heart space, by their feelings, by their inner knowing, instead of their minds. For so long as humans, we have been conditioned to just be very mental beings, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. The mind is a very beautiful and powerful tool, but because we are divine spiritual beings and our heart space really helps us to connect with the higher aspect of who we are, with source and so on. We're being asked to come back here in this heart space, and this heart space is what allows for you to connect more easily with your intuition. And so the reality that we're existing in, it's kind of like, how can I explain it to you? It's kind of like we are modernizing ourselves to a certain extent. Like in the past, I don't know, maybe like 20, 30 years ago, when computers were first coming out and internet and stuff like that, like when we were stepping into that new era of technology, it was new and it was weird and it was a big change for people, right? To get used to like typing and doing things on the computer and all this other stuff. It was a shift, but it had to be done because that's what we were stepping into. There was no way to stop that technological advancement. Like we were stepping into that whether people wanted to or not. So they needed to get on board and learn how to use this technology and so on and so forth. So this is the same kind of thing, is that we are stepping into this new kind of era where people are being asked to come more from their heart space, to come more from the space of love, this connection that they have to source and to their higher aspect of themselves. And that's a very feeling space. That's a very like intuitive space. And we're being asked to come from that space instead of just the mind so much. And that's just what's going to happen. And people need to get on board with this as soon as possible and practice that, because this way of being such a mental being, a logical, analytical, rational being, is becoming outdated. It's kind of like old news, and you either get on board and get on that train so that it's easier for you, or you resist and you keep trying to figure things out mentally and trying to make sense of it and so on, and then struggle because the world is not going to work that way anymore in a short amount of, a period of time. Like it's going to shift dramatically. And so this is what we're being asked to do, is to come more from the heart space, from our intuition, instead of the mind so much, okay? And the more that you practice listening to your inner knowing or your gut feeling or your intuition, the more that you practice this and you practice trusting yourself again and you just act on it, even if it doesn't make sense, even if you can't see how it's supposed to work out or whatever, or even if it doesn't actually result in what you think it needs to be, but you took action on it anyway, the more that you practice this, the stronger your intuition becomes. And the stronger your intuition becomes, the more quickly you'll be able to tune into it, receive that guidance very quickly, and you'll always be able to kind of know the next steps to take, where to go, and so on and so forth. And you move through life with so much more ease and grace because you just know, instead of just sitting there trying to mentally figure it out and, okay, these are the pros and cons to this, and if I do this, then it's going to result in that, and then, but what if I do this and then I get that, and so on and so forth. Like, you can't complicate your life so much when you go about it that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we've been taught, to, weigh the pros and cons and look at the different strategies and the different things. And there's nothing inherently wrong with doing it that way. It's just that it's a long way to go about things. When you just practice developing your intuition and you strengthen it, you just know what the next thing is. You just know, even if you can't see exactly how it's going to work out, you just know that whatever next step you're taking is going to work out for your highest good no matter what. And it's going to get you the best possible result no matter what. And you just keep it moving instead of sitting there and taking like precious time trying to figure it out and, coming up with all these strategies and things and outcomes and possibilities and all this other stuff. Like, that's just too complicated. Me personally, I don't have time for that. Okay. If you want to keep going about that, by all means, go with it. It's your journey. It's your process. Take whatever resonates with you from this video and discard the rest, because we're all here to follow our own truth. And I'm not here to tell you my truth is the one and only truth, but I'm just sharing what I know. And this is what I know to be true, because I have been on that opposite end of the spectrum where I was very, very logical and analytical. And I still have a lot of that in my own energy. I'm still very much kind of masculine, and I'm learning to step more and more into the feminine as I go on my journey. And part of my trip to Mexico and becoming location independent is me stepping into that feminine energy and allowing myself to just flow and to just allow myself to be led by my inner knowing, instead of like, but wait, where am I going to go to after Mexico? And where am I going to go to within Mexico? And what am I going to do? And what am I going to see? And I got to have it all planned out and this and that. Like, instead of stressing myself out, trying to complicate that whole trip and trying to figure every single step out, I'm just like, whatever, I'm going with the flow, trusting I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be, go where I'm supposed to go, meet who I'm supposed to meet, do the things I'm supposed to do. And it's just going to all work out in time. And I'm not even going to, give it so much energy and time, because I have other things I want to do with my time. I have my business, I have clients, I have my relationship, I have planning I have to do to get ready for that. I don't have time to sit here and research all these different things, like that's just not for me. Maybe it's for some people, but not for me. And so this is what I mean is, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're very much analytical and strategic and all the things, like, it's part of your journey, it's part of your process. It's been part of my process, learning to let that go and to just step more into allowing my feelings, my inner knowing to lead the way, and trusting that and allowing that to be okay. So, yes, let's see here. So basically, yes, you all have the capacity to develop your intuition. You all have the capacity to start trusting yourselves again, but it does take practice, and it does take you being willing to listen and to take action on whatever it is that you feel without any expectation, without really thinking, okay, I'm going to listen to my intuition now, and I hope it's right, and I hope I get this thing, and it works out in this way. Like, no, you just act on it, and you just let it be, and that's it. Instead of trying to, validate your intuition by saying, okay, I'm going to do this thing that my intuition told me to do, and I better get a good result from it. No, because that puts so much pressure on you, and it works against you. The thing that you want to do is to just simply, when you feel intuitive hits, even if you can't explain like why you're feeling to do something, or you're called to write about something, or to phone someone, or whatever it is, you just trust it, you act on it, and then you do the thing. And if and when you do get positive validation that your intuition was on point, then you reaffirm that, and you reaffirm it within yourself to help you start trusting yourself again. And you just say like, wow, earlier today I felt pulled to call my friend, and I'm so glad that I did, because when I called them, they were going through a rough moment. They really needed someone to speak to, and I was able to be there for them. And that felt so great to be able to know that my intuition is helping me be there for the people that I love. I'm so happy that I was able to trust myself enough to do that, because that made such a huge difference in that person's life, and so on. And this is how you can reaffirm when your intuition does work out the way that, in a positive way, so that you can reaffirm within yourself that it's okay to trust yourself again. It's okay for you to act on your intuition. Your intuition is always leading you down the path of your highest good and the path of the highest good for other people, and so on and so forth. So I definitely had to practice developing my intuition a lot over the last few years, because like I said, I've said this in many other videos, I used to believe I was really unlucky. I used to believe I couldn't manifest anything. I didn't really trust myself. I, would feel like I needed to do something, and then I would like talk myself out of it, and then afterwards I would kick myself in the butt and be like, why did I, talk myself out of it? I should have done that, because now look at this opportunity that I've lost, and so on and so forth. That could have been me and all these other things. And I've had to learn to trust my intuition and to just do things, even if it didn't make sense, or even if it didn't really work out in the way in which I wanted it to just be like, you know what, it was supposed to be, and that's it. And I'm just showing myself that I'm willing to trust myself. And for me as a psychic especially, this has been especially important, because you cannot be a psychic if you don't trust yourself. You have to learn to trust yourself and the information that you get, and so on and so forth. And I've had to learn to develop my intuition in so many different ways, as a psychic as one of them. And I've had to learn to just be like, okay, this is the information I'm getting for this person, and I'm just going to give it to them, and it's just going to work out the way it's supposed to, and that's it. And just really trusting that and allowing that to be okay. So that's all that I have for you today. Alenka, do you have any questions that I can answer before I hop off? Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what, experiences you want to share with me around your intuition. Do you really trust your intuition? Do you have a strong intuition? Do you need to develop your intuition? Do you really fully trust yourself, or do you talk yourself out of things a lot of times, and so on and so forth? Like, share with me below, because maybe I can give you some extra guidance, or maybe you can inspire me to do a video on something similar to what you're asking, to help you and other people have further support. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, a like, make sure to subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, there's going to be more videos every Friday. I do them at 10 a.m. Usually Central Standard Time, and then I try to upload other teachings that I can from my Facebook. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, the links are in the description below. And there's going to be a subscribe button and other videos here for you to watch at the end of this video. So that's basically it. I wish you all an amazing, amazing day and an amazing weekend, and I will see you soon. And if you enjoyed this video so much and you want to share this video with someone, please definitely share this video with them, so that they can also benefit from the site information and use it to their advantage to start developing their intuition as well, because developing your intuition is so life-changing. And developing my intuition, at least, has really helped me to make some of the biggest decisions that I've needed to make in my life and in my business, that have literally propelled me forward. A lot of times when I needed to make big decisions that logically and mentally, like, I thought wasn't the smartest thing to do. It wasn't the most responsible thing to do or the right time to do things and so on. But I didn't listen to my mind. I listened to what I felt, what I knew to be true inside of myself, and I would act on them. And it's by doing that that I've been able to dramatically change my life and my business in the span of about 2 years, 2.5 years or so, especially because I allow myself to be guided by my intuition instead of my mind more these days. So that's basically it. I don't think I have any questions. I send you all so much love, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.